Well, what a difference a week and 1 day makes for football, as last Friday night the Hippos took on the Round Rock Dragons and came away with a 35-7 loss. We'll talk a little bit about that one throughout this game, because that game certainly was closer than a score would indicate. But that was a cold, blustery night over at Hutto Memorial Stadium, Ryan. And today it is a beautiful, sunny day with just a little bit of a breeze here in Round Rock, and just feels like a great fall football day, and an important game for the Hutto Hippos as they come into this one 2-2 on the year, 1-1 in district play. Stony Point only 1-1 on the year, 0-1 in district play, and their district game was actually last Monday, this past Monday, against Westwood. Stony Point had missed 2 weeks due to some quarantining and whatnot, and only played just this past Monday. So short turnaround for the Stony Point Tigers, and the Hippos, of course, got even an extra day to prepare after playing last Friday. But important game for both teams in district play here early on in the season. We are just about set, and we will give you some game keys right after this kickoff, which is going to be fielded by the Hippos, actually through the arms and down in the end zone. Going to be a touchback and brought out to the 25. Couple of keys to the game, and these are critical keys. First of all, the Hippos will return running back J.J. Banks today, so that's big for the Hippos. Get the elusive Banks out. He's been out since the very first game in College Station. He's back. But probably the biggest key of all is the Hippos will be starting a freshman quarterback today. Will Hammond will be under center or running shotgun for the Hippos, and that's due to Grayson Doggett being unavailable due to some contact tracing that took place this week. Unfortunately, we've come to use that term contact tracing a lot. So freshman quarterback Will Hammond gets the start. Snap goes to him. Quick pass over the middle is caught by Gary Choi. So very first play of Will Hammond's career as a varsity player is a pass to Gary Choice, and it's complete up to the 38-yard line.
Oh, and we were watching him down on the sidelines pregame, and he looks very confident. Throws a really tight ball, and really is playing with. He doesn't look like a freshman down there playing in his first varsity game.
No, he seemed very calm and very poised, certainly pregame, and then obviously on his very first pass, found Gary Choice over the middle. 1st and 10 for the Hippos at the 38-yard line. Dropping back, swinging a pass left side, complete across the 40-yard line, inside to the 45. Now breaking away and going to score is Sean Davis for the Hippos. How about that start for Will Hammond?
Well, there's one way to make your quarterback look good. Absolutely.
2 plays and a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a well-executed play, well blocked, a good catch, way to look it in. And one of the things that we talked about before the game was that these receivers are really going to have to do a good job of helping their quarterback out, catching the balls. That's one thing we've talked about the past few games is catching the balls that they need to catch. And so far so good, 2 for 2, and look at there, 2 plays and then a touchdown.
There was a penalty on the play after the touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct against Stony Point, which means the Hippos will get to kick off from 15 yards further. Snap back, hold down, kick up by Gutierrez is good. So a quick strike for the Hippos, 11-26. They will only play 34 seconds, and the Hippos grab the lead 7-0 here at Kelly Reese Stadium. Well, we'll keep it here. We'll talk just a little bit about, again, Will Hammond, and there was a lot of talk about how he had been performing as a freshman. A lot of confidence in him. Players had seen him play, and I tell you what, there's nothing that can happen more than to do that on your very first possession to inspire some confidence in your receivers, but in your team as a whole, because generally freshman comes out and there's going to be a little bit of questions about what he's going to do, and he answered that bell right off the bat. Well,
and we heard early on that he came out immediately to practice this week. He was actually he's been on the varsity squad for 2 weeks now. They brought him up a couple weeks ago, just realizing that they're going to need basically a second option in case something were to happen with Grayson. And lo and behold, that comes to fruition probably a little bit too soon than we would have liked. But yeah, it's a great start for the freshman quarterback.
Well, I thought they signaled an unsportsmanlike.
No, it was a sideline warning.
I gotcha. Kickoff. There's that high pooch kick hanging up in the air, fielded at the 25-yard line, and Tigers trying to return it. Going to be brought down short of the 30, about the 28-yard line. Good job by the Hippo coverage team. Get on number 14, Lucas Morin. Well, another key for the Hippos in this game, talking to defense coordinator Adam Harvey before the game, and he said that really key defensively is the Hippos need to stop number 5, Jaden Leonard. He's kind of the go-to everything man for the Stony Point Tigers. Well, the Hippos most of this year have found themselves in a hole early in games, so for a change, they're playing from ahead.
Yeah, it's a nice change. Maybe a good change of scenery.
Quarterback Skylar Hausen-Fluck for the Tigers. Snap back to him, handoff, and trying to get outside. Number 4, Cameron Cook, brought down by Zane Bolding, who got some penetration and brings him down for a loss back at the 30 or 26-yard line.
Yeah, early indication and the eyeball test down on the field pregame This Stony Point Tiger team is not going to be quite as big and physical as some of the teams that we've seen the past few weeks.
Certainly not Round Rock.
No, and so you would think that we'd be able to get some pretty good penetration on that line, and for a team that relies as much on the run as these Tigers do, that definitely bodes well for us going forward.
Cook in the backfield with Housenfluck. Handoff goes to Cook, running left side, and meets a wall of Hippos. Picks up maybe a couple of yards to the original line of scrimmage, move it back to the 29. It'll be a 3rd down 10 situation for the Tigers on their first possession. Hippos scored on 2 plays on their first possession to grab a 7-0 lead. 10:35 to go here in the first quarter on a beautiful Saturday for football in Round Rock.
Well, and you mentioned starting a little bit different. I'm trying to think back to some of our previous 4 games. I can't think if we have started with the lead in any of those 4 games.
I'm trying to remember if we did against McNeil.
Perhaps against McNeil.
So 3rd down and 10 for the Stony Point Tigers. Housenfluck dropping straight back, getting pressure. Now he's going to swing it out and caught near that 1st down marker.
They're going to give it to him.
Yep, looks like number 23 on the catch, Donovan Zuniga. Well, Housenfluck did a good job of avoiding the pressure from the Hippos and was able to find Zuniga for just enough the 1st down at the 40-yard line in their own end of the field. Coach Harvey told me that they were going to have play a 4-man front starting off here, change the look up just a little bit defensively.
Well, it looked like that didn't last very long because we've got 3 men down there right now.
I'm sure they will kind of bounce back and forth. Housenfluck going to keep it, has a little bit of room, runs straight into Brody Bueno after a 3-yard pickup to the 43-yard line, brought down 2nd down and 7. 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. Hutto leads it 7-0.
Brody made that tackle while he was being blocked. He was engaged with the guard that had pulled around, and Brody grabbed that guy with one arm and was able to bring him down.
Brody is he is just a freak of nature.
Well, it's a testament to his defensive abilities when, they'd rather have him on defense than bring him in and let him play quarterback.
Yeah, he's very valuable on the defensive side, and it's hard to play both ways at 6-man level football. Housenfluck, straight drop, intercepted by Bueno. Returned at the 40, 35, 30, and brought down at the 25-yard line. So speaking of how valuable he is on the defensive side, Brody steps right in front of that, picks it off. There is a flag on the far side of the field, and wait, it's in the area where it might have been offsides against the Hippos. Let's see.
Looks like offenses.
Sideline warning against the Hippos this time. So both teams with a sideline warning, but the interception will stand. So, yeah, Brody just dropped back, and Housenfluck threw it right to him. Brody returned it to the 25-yard line, and that's where the Hippos will set up 1st and 10. Great field position.
He had a man that was curling in that zone route, and originally Braylon Sugg was lined up out there, and he actually came in on a blitz, and I think the quarterback thought that was going to be an open lane, but Brody came from that middle linebacker position, and he never even saw him, and boy, he just threw it right to him, stepped right in that path, and what a picture-perfect start really for the Hippos.
Will Hammond started off 2 for 2 and a touchdown on his first possession. He's going to pass again, dropping. Now he's flushed. Going to try to scramble to his right, brought down for a loss back at the 30-yard line. Almost got away from number 36, Jacob Morales, but Morales got just enough on him to bring him down, so a loss of 5. And so there's his first sack of the year, or of his varsity career.
And actually, he kept some pretty decent composure in there, stepped up in the pocket, and really, a lot of times those young guys, the first instinct is to go out the backside and try to escape that way.
J.J. Banks in the backfield. Handoff goes him, stumbles, and going to be brought down for no gain. Kind of lost his footing right before the handoff, and once he regained his traction, couldn't turn it upfield before he was brought down for no gain. So a 3rd down and long situation. So first adverse situation that Will Hammond will face as a varsity quarterback here, 3rd and long at the 30-yard line.
Well,
you're the Hippos,
probably 2-down territory here going into the win.
You really need to capitalize on that interception and return to the 25. 3rd down, 15 needed. Snap. High snap gets away from Hammond, going to roll to his right and just going to throw it out of bounds. So pretty smart, heady by the freshman to just let that one go. But That one probably should have reeled that one in as a high snap, but just deflected off of his fingers, and he did a good job of corralling it instead of turning it into a fumble.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we had been trying to set up a screen, and so we had 2 receivers down on this right side. We're both blocking, and obviously didn't realize the ball was over the quarterback's head. They could have actually turned that into a scramble drill and maybe slipped behind the defenders.
So 4th down 15. Hammond straight drop, gets some pressure, going to roll to his left. Now he's going to turn it up and run. 25-20. Tries to run over a man, but not going to be quite enough. Brought down at the 18-yard line. Very tough run by Hammond. I'm not sure you want your freshman quarterback lowering his shoulder and trying to run over guys on his second possession.
It's kind of a slippery slope there because, like you said, you want him being aggressive and tough and showing that confidence. But then again, when he comes over there, hey, buddy, you're all we've got today, So you gotta play that one smart. And boy, he gave it a good try. He came about 3 yards short, and I guess we either punt that there and potentially get a touchback to the 20 or run it to the 18-yard line. So,
Yeah, you just hate to get it at the 25 and not be able to
right.
come away with points. So Stony Point take over 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line after they hold the Hippos on downs. Handoff goes to number 4, Cameron Cook, and he's ankle tackled by Zane Bolding. Tell you what, we just need to get a loop saying tackled by Zane Bolding because that's really become our mantra.
He has got a nose for the football.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And again, we always thought he doesn't look like your prototypical 6A middle linebacker.
Nope, but he makes the plays.
Other than his counterpart, Brody Bueno, who fits that.
Looks like an NFL
right.
player. 2nd down and 10 for the Tigers. Housenfluck going to keep it and brought down again by Zane Bolding for no gain. 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, and that all starts again with the push that defensive line is getting up there. And actually, it looked like that was Charles Green that made that initial push. And you get those offensive linemen going backwards, and all of a sudden that changes your path as a runner, and you're going to the hole that's not designed, and there's the linebacker to come fill it up.
3rd down, 10 yards needed for the Tigers. Play clock down to 10, and they're still trying to get the play and probably going to get a timeout by Stony Point. They're not going to get this.
Down there.
They're not going to get this play off. And timeout called as the play clock reaches 06:27 here to go in the first quarter. Hutto leads at 7-0. Hippos got the ball on the opening kickoff. Took 2 plays to score a Hammond to Sean Davis 52-yard touchdown pass. 34 seconds into the game to lead it 7-0, and then picked off a pass in return to the Stony Point 25 on the Tigers' first possession. But the Hippos were unable to come away with points on that one, and Stony Point now faces a 3rd down and 10 situation from their own 18-yard line. So far, I think the story of this game is Hippo defense and Will Hammond headiness and poise at quarterback as a freshman for the Hippos.
Yeah, and I mean, he's had 2 good opportunities to potentially make a big mistake, and he's done a good job, like you said, both times of staying pretty poised and doing the right thing, either throwing the ball away or, on the corralling the bad snap and taking the sack. Obviously, just avoid the big turnover, avoid the big plays is kind of the key here.
So Housenfluck has Cook in the backfield. He takes a straight drop, gets some pressure, and he's going to be sacked. Pressure came from Landon Watson on the left side, and also had Braylon Sugg, of course, there, along with Alden Full-of-Love, and they sack Housenfluck back at the 12-yard line.
Yeah, you know how they give half sacks. That I think we're going to give out quarter sacks on that one. That was about four guys that converged on him all at one time.
Good job by the Hippo defense again. Should come away with great field position after this punt by the Tigers. It's an end-over-end punt. Going to be fair caught by the Hippos at the 43-yard line. Gary Choice. Gary's done a good job of being back in punt return for the Hippos the last few weeks. He's gone up and caught a lot of balls that historically the Hippos have kind of run away from, that have taken bad bounces. So.
Well, and that's kind of one of those things that people really take for granted is going back and catching those punts. And like we've mentioned, you let some of those punts get over your head, and you're losing out on 15, 20, 25 yards of field position every time you don't catch one. So that's a big factor.
Hutto starts in positive territory once again. Handoff goes to Kyron Miller, trying to run to the right side, and before he can turn it up, he's drugged down by number 24, Micah McMillan of the Tigers.
Yeah, and again, just not finding that hole on those inside runs and immediately wanting to bounce it outside. And you know, it's hard to tell from our vantage point what those gaps and those running lanes are looking like, but boy, if you're the coach, if you're the Hutto coaches, you really want that big body going north and south.
Loss of 1, second down and 11. Snap back to Hammond, straight drop. Now he gets pressure, flushed. Going to scramble near the 31-yard line, but I think we're going to have a hold against the Hippos. Nice run. Hammond had enough for the first down after the scramble, but as you mentioned, there was a hold back around midfield, so this one's going to move the Hippos back and set up a second down and long situation. I like his poise in the pocket and how he is stepping up, and if he doesn't have a receiver, he's turning it upfield, showing some very capable running ability.
Yeah, well, and one thing that does is, as a running quarterback, it forces you as a defense to play more of a zone defense than a man-to-man, because you know you're playing man-to-man. All those defensive backs have their backs turned, quarterback runs, and all of a sudden you've got wide open running lanes, and so it just makes you be more cognizant of that, and you get more of those open windows to throw to when you're playing against that zone.
Second down and 21 after the holding call against the Hippo. Snap back to Hammond. Handoff goes to Kyron Miller running right. It just can't bounce it outside, and he's corralled by a bunch of Tigers at the 46-yard line, so no gain for Kyron Miller. So a third down and extra long for the Hippos, 21 yards needed.
I almost wondered if at some point we can turn that to our advantage and maybe get a receiver coming from the other side and try to run a little reverse off of that intended bounce.
Yeah. Very heavy pursuit by the Tigers for sure. Again, they're playing on less rest than normal, played Monday night. Snap back, heavy pressure, trying to set up a screen. He's got a lot of running room as Banks is at the 45 and just can't break a tackle. He had one man to get past, couldn't do it.
Yeah,
down at the 41-yard line and Tiger into the field, so Hippos are going to have to punt.
He had a host of blockers in front of him, and actually he got caught from behind. It looked like that was number 44, Jake Chambers, that came and chased him down, and that's something that we were not ready to see with JJ Banks being back. Is him getting caught. He brings a next level of speed to the backfield.
Evan Gutierrez actually is the punter for the Hippos. Normal place kicker. Low snap, picks it up. A little pooch punt. Going to bounce at the 25. Hippos don't gain a whole lot on that one. Be killed at the 26-yard line, so good job by the Tigers to stop the Hippos. Hippos have had 2 possessions in positive territory and have come away with 0 points on each of those. Their only points were on a long touchdown pass from Will Hammond to Sean Davis on their first possession.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to the offense not capitalizing on the great defensive play so far.
Well,
and that's kind of been the story.
obviously, the holding penalty was huge because Hammond had scrambled for the first down, but it just put him in long yardage situation. Heavy pressure on Housenfluck. They're trying to set up a screen. And heavy pursuit by the Hippos, but I think we're going to have a hold against Stony Point as well.
I couldn't tell who was there ready to make the tackle. It might have been Zane Bolding, but he just got completely tackled by the offensive lineman.
And I think Housenfluck kind of they were trying to set up that screen, but I don't know if it was Landon.
Yeah,
somebody was coming
Landon
in from that left side that read it pretty quickly and started dropping back and forced Housenfluck to try to float that pass up. But a holding penalty will move him back to the 16-yard line, so second down and 20, first down and 20 for the Tigers. 3:28 to go in the first quarter. Hutto leads at 7-0. One man in the backfield with Housenfluck. Now they put a man in motion. Now he stops. Put another man in motion. Handoff goes to Cooks. Got a little bit of running room across the 25 and then hit hard at the 27-yard line by Joseph Teagle.
Well, and Brad's out there talking to the official. They had 2 men that tried to go in motion, and
yeah, I'm not sure.
I
why
guess they
did.
were both able to get set in time before the second one restarted. But
sure didn't look like it.
Yeah, I didn't think so. They were not set for a full second.
Second and 9. Handoff goes to Cook, running to the right side, trying to get outside, and wrapped up after about a 1-yard gain over in front of the Hippo bench. Jalen Parkinson on the tackle for the Hippos. So another 3rd and long situation for the Tigers. 3rd down, they'll need 7 at their own 29-yard line. So far, the Hippo defense has done a fantastic job.
Yeah, I mean, they gave up the one first or 3rd down conversion on that scramble. Other than that, they've kept them in 3rd and long situations and gotten off the field every time.
Cook goes in motion out of the backfield. Hausenfluck drops back, trying to looking to throw. Now gets pressure, and he's going to be buried at the 25, 24-yard line.
Yeah, they were trying to set up that fake screen where it draws the linebacker. I think they were hoping to get Brody running out on that fake swing pass and open up the slant coming right across the middle, and we did not bite on that. And that's actually the same play that they threw the pick on about 2 possessions ago. So I guess they learned from their mistake, but we didn't fall for it yet again.
Yeah, I was going to say, call that a coverage sack just as much as a pressure sack. End over end punt, bounces at midfield. Now this time Gary Choice doesn't have a chance to go get that one, and look what happens. It rolls all the way inside the 30 to the 27, 28-yard line and Hippo into the field. So,
well, the one
trying to flip the field.
One successful possession we've had so far came when we started on this end of the field. So maybe that's the key to the game.
There you go.
Bad field position.
Hutto will start 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They've had 3 possessions so far. Scored on the first one in 2 plays to go up 7-0, and their last 2, one was over on downs at the Stony Point 18-yard line, and the other one was a punt after starting in positive end of the field. So see what the Hippos can do. Sometimes that changes your play calling.
Well, look who's coming out here at quarterback right now.
So now they have Brody Bueno in at quarterback, and Brad said we'd probably see both of them. Brody fakes the handoff to Banks, keeps it, powers forward across the 35 up to the 37-yard line. Pickup of 9 yards on the play by Brody Bueno. Yeah, they said they would play both of them, but certainly they don't want Brody playing every play at quarterback because they need him on defense. Fakes the handoff. We've got all kinds of room if he can kick it outside. Across the 45 at the 46-yard line was Sean Davis. Well, I thought he was going to turn that outside and get that sideline.
So too.
Turned it back inside.
Well, and it looks like this is going to be Brody's drive going the whole way. They don't. Will Hammond is not. He's not over there, standing next to the coaches. A lot of times you see these running quarterbacks get in.
They need to.
But I think they're going to go ahead and get Brody this entire drive.
Give them both some work. Snap back, hand off to Banks. Trying to move forward, but runs into a wall after a pickup of 1 yard at the 47-yard line. And J.J. Banks probably running up the middle is not his strength. I mean, if he can find a little gap and sneak through it, he can break away. But I think the thing with Banks is you want to get the ball to him in space.
Right.
Let him do his thing.
Well, and we haven't had a whole lot of success running it, and we seem to have quite a bit of success throwing those quick passes, those screens, and I guess you've got to set those up somehow. But, boy, it sure seems like we could go to that well a little bit more.
2nd down and 9. Brody with a quarterback draw across midfield, across the 45 and down at the 41-yard line.
Or do
Brody
that.
loves keep. Yeah, I was going to say, or just let Brody keep the ball and run it. Well, we've reached the end of the first quarter. That was a fast first quarter. We've played one here in Round Rock. It's the Hippos 7, Stony Point Tigers nothing. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
A-Plus Federal Credit Union is a longtime supporter of Hutto ISD. Earn cash back and support Hippo Nation with the student-designed A-Plus FCU Hutto ISD Hippo Debit Card. When you use your Hippo Debit Card, you and Hutto ISD both earn up to 10 cents with every purchase. Hutto ISD has received over $71,000 in cash back from A-Plus FCU members since August 2016. Stop by the Hutto branch on Ed Schmidt Boulevard to get your card and start earning today. Membership required, insured by NCUA.
start the second quarter here at Kelly Reeves Complex in Round Rock. Hippos leading 7-0 over the Stony Point Tigers in a very fast first quarter on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. That quarter didn't even last
they're not
30
taking
minutes.
advantage of the good weather. We would have much preferred to have this speed of a game last week.
No kidding. Hippos will come out 1st and 10. They've driven into Stony Point territory. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Brody Bueno in at quarterback, has Banks in the backfield. One receiver right side, one receiver left. Now putting a man in motion, turning it up at the 40-yard line. Number 17,
Flag
Damian
down.
Jones, but might have a hold against the Hippos again here.
Well, so going back to the short week that Stony Point has, it seems like a tremendous disadvantage, but if you really think about it, so they would have played Monday, right? Tuesday, install. Wednesday and Thursday are practice days. Friday now becomes the walkthrough. On a normal week, you're also going to have those 4 days, right? Monday's your install day, Tuesday, Wednesday practice, Thursday walkthrough. So as it is kind of, it condenses things a little bit. I think
just probably a little
it's less time to study the
time
film.
and healing time.
Yes, it is.
So 15-yard chop block penalty, gets a Hippos, moves them back. Now it's going to be 1st down and 25. And tell you what, the Hippos, who have been relatively good in terms of penalties these last few weeks, have had 2 big ones already in this ball game. Moves it back to their own 44-yard line. Snap back to Bueno. Fakes the handoff, going to keep it. Gets away from one man and then tripped up at the 40. Going to be a loss. Adam Whitfield tripped him up. Brody started to the right side and decided to reverse it and bring it back left, and had a little bit of room if he had gotten past
I thought
Whitfield.
he was going to try to get that edge, and he was able to swipe at his feet and just trip him up. He had some room on that right side or that left side, but
so
boy, just going
second
backwards.
Down and
30, 29.
About 29. Got a long ways to go. Snap back, fakes a handoff, looking, throwing over the middle. He's got him. In and out of the hands of Gary Choice.
Boy, it just, again, had just a great throw, great route.
I know Gary saw that man
did.
coming at him and probably short-armed it just a little bit because he was about to get nailed. In fact, it was close to
I was going to say,
still being a helmet-to-helmet
I'm
hit.
kind of surprised we didn't see a flag. I guess a lot of times in high school, these referees are more hesitant to throw that flag when there's no review. I think they probably tell them it has to be pretty egregious to throw that.
So 3rd down and a whole bunch needed for the Hippos. They need 29 yards at their 40-yard line. After a very promising-looking drive, a 15-yard penalty pushed them back, and then another sack is going to push them further back as Brody's brought down inside the 40 at the 38-yard line. So just no offensive production for the Hippos. It seems like when they're driving, they're doing fine. Once they get behind the chains and they get in a long situation, they just really don't have an answer for it.
Yeah, got to avoid those negative plays. Have to, especially right now, when you're working with 2 different quarterbacks and trying to find the rhythm, and you haven't had a lot of rhythm the last few weeks anyway. And boy, you really just got to avoid those catastrophic penalties.
Yeah,
like
two possessions in a row penalties have just killed the Hippos. So a long punt, and Brody snap is over. Actually, it's Gutierrez, so it snapped over his head. 2nd week in a row that's happened. He falls on it inside his own 10, and Stony Point Tigers are going to have the ball at the Hutto 9-yard line.
Wow. So a drive that gets all the way down to the Tiger 30-yard line ends up without even a punt. Ends up
with the Tigers having the ball at the Hippo 9-yard line. 2 weeks in a row, a punt snap has gone over the punter's head, and last week the Hippos paid for it with Round Rock falling on it in the end zone for a touchdown. This week, at least the defense will have a shot to get a stop, but Stony Point will have it 1st and 10 or 1st and goal at the Hutto 9-yard line.
Boy.
Wilson Fluck has Cook in the backfield. Blitz look coming from the Hippos, and Hasselfluck pulls it, keeps it, Has it all the way down to the 5-yard line. I tell you, the running back really wanted to take it.
Yeah, they both wanted that ball, and they're lucky they didn't fumble that. A lot of times that's where you that fumbled exchange on those read options, that's especially near the goal line. You see that so often because those quarterbacks want to wait, and then they want to pull it last second. And, yeah, again, fortunate. Had Zane Bolding, he had timed that blitz perfectly. It kind of disrupted the timing, and he was just able to – Hausenfleck was able to find that edge and pick up 5.
Second down and goal at the 5-yard line. Put a man in motion going from left to right. Handoff goes to Cook, bounces it outside left side, gets the corner of the end zone. Touchdown Tigers. Hippos didn't have anybody at home on that left end or the right defensive side. And Tigers make the Hippos pay for that turnover with a 5-yard touchdown run. They're a PAT away from tying this one up.
Yeah, no containment there, but you can't put that score on the defense.
No.
That's when you start at the 9-yard line. You're expected to score a touchdown, and 2 weeks in a row now.
Snap back, hold down, kick up is no good. Pulled it to the left. So missed PAT, could loom large. 9:08 to go in the second quarter. It's now Hutto 7, Stony Point 6. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
ACDI, Al Clausen Disposal, supports the Hippo Nation. ACDI is a locally owned family company that specializes in solid waste services, including residential, recycling, commercial, and roll-off. Al Clausen Disposal has grown into a top 100 ranked corporation. Their mission is simple. They're committed to providing safe, reliable, and environmentally sound waste solutions at cost-effective rates while embracing new ideas to reduce the carbon footprint. Al Clausen Disposal, your local choice for all your collection and disposal needs. ACDI says go Hippos!
Welcome back to Kelly Reeves Stadium. 9:08 to go in the second quarter. Hippos lead at 7-6 after the missed PAT following the Stony Point score. And tell you, the game behind the game on this one is, and what doesn't show up in the stats necessarily, is critical penalties by the Hippos. Ball returned to the 25-yard line by Hutto. They'll start there, 1st and 10. And yeah, that goes in the books as a 9-yard touchdown drive by Stony Point. But like you said, Ryan, Hippos had the ball and advanced it all the way to the Stony Point 42-yard line where they had it 1st and 10. But you get a chop block that moves you back 15 yards. Then you get a couple of sacks. And then the snap over the punter's head. And Stony Point only had to go 9 yards.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's the same story every week. It's us beating ourselves. And it's you just wonder how these games might be going if we're not making these critical errors at critical times.
Will Hammond back in. Swing pass, screen pass to Jay Lambert. Takes it up to the 36-yard line.
And again, success with
Brody Bueno had a possession and had the Hippos drive in until a couple of those mistakes. Now the Hippos are going to go fast with Will Hammond, the freshman, back in at quarterback. Handoff goes to Banks, trying to bounce it outside, pushes forward to the 40-yard line. So pick up of 4 yards by J.J. Banks. Well, yeah, you go back to last week when Hutto, you look at the score, 31 to 7 loss to Round Rock. You take away 4 plays from that game. You had 2 long runs by Round Rock. You had a snap over the punter's head, recovered in the end zone for a touchdown, and you had a pick 6 for a touchdown. Take away those 4 plays, and it's a 7-3 game.
Yeah.
So mistakes and big plays can get you beat. Second down and 6 for Hutto. High snap. Hammond's able to corral it. Hands off to Kyron Miller just in time. He crosses the 45, going to be about a half-yard short of the first down. They need the 46.
Oh, that was a dangerous exchange.
Yeah.
I thought he got a bad spot there.
And off goes to Miller again. Powers forward across midfield into Stony Point territory at the 49-yard line.
And
first and 10.
That's what we need to see more of out of Kyron Miller. Just
Right,
run,
just hit the
ball and run straight ahead. You're so big. You're so much bigger than all those other guys. Just run forward.
First and 10. And off goes to Miller again. Powers forward to the 46-yard line. Pick up a 3.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that there.
Yeah, I think, like you said, he loves to – sometimes he takes it to the middle and then he tries to bounce it back outside, and the recovery time is enough for the defense to corral him before he can turn it upfield. Snap back to Hammond. Pass, tipped and getting out of the hands of Sean Davis. He and Gary Choice were kind of in the same place.
Yeah, Gary was trying to run a clear out route, and I think he tripped and ended up falling right there where Sean was trying to catch the ball. But again, hitting the receivers in the hands and another drop pass. And I know we say it every week, but boy, especially when you've got this freshman quarterback out here, you've really got to do a good job of helping him out and instilling that confidence by catching those passes. I mean, that's a good ball.
Absolutely. Third down, 7 yards needed for the Hippos. Damian Jones goes in motion. Heavy pressure coming from the right side, and freshman Hammond throws it up. It is caught by Jay Lambert at the 15-yard line. Tell you what, Hammond put it there right on the spot. Jay Lambert went up and got it. Great play by Jay, and great job by Will Hammond to stand in as he had a man coming from his right side and just ready to unload on him, but he gets rid of it just in time, and it's a first down for the Hippos at the 15-yard line, and Stony Point into the field.
And there is the type of play that you got to make to put the confidence into your quarterback, right? Go tell him, hey, put it in my position, and I'll go catch the ball.
First and 10 at the 15. Hand off to Kyron Miller. Now again, trying to kick it outside. Got a handful of jersey. He's able to drag the defender to the 11, 10-yard line.
And I think that one was designed to be bounced outside. That looked like a counter play. We had tackle and guard both pulling from that left side. And, if he's going to bounce it out anyway, you might as well design it that way.
Yeah. Picked up 5 yards to the 10-yard line. It'll be second down and 5 for the Hippos. Got a man shaken up for the Tigers.
So normally we give high school score updates. Here's a surprising college score update.
Just shocking.
Boston College 28-10 over Clemson right now.
Well, and that one, from what we've been able to see, that's not because of Trevor Lawrence not playing for Clemson.
Well, Trevor Lawrence doesn't play defense.
Exactly. It's because of the Boston College offense.
Yeah, well, and I believe that they've had a pick six and a fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Oh, well, okay, so maybe it is partly because of Trevor Lawrence not playing.
It's got something to do with it, but
nonetheless, shocking. I was talking to Philip Boutwell last night, big Alabama fan, and told him, I was like, hey, Alabama got a break with Trevor Lawrence going out for probably 2 weeks. But not necessarily thinking that would be this week that the Tigers
it'd be
would
next
struggle.
week with
next
Notre
week
Dame.
Against Notre Dame.
Yeah. Well, Alabama had a little misfortune of their own with Jalen Waddle going out for the season. Boy,
they've got some depth.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right. But it's a bad situation when Saban announces at halftime that he's done for the season.
Yeah.
That's something you don't hear a lot, especially out of Nick Saban.
Just about set to return here. Yeah, looking at that Boston College Clemson game, it's 28-10 and only 30 seconds to go in the second quarter. So the Tigers are going to have to make some adjustments for sure.
Well, and now if they end up losing this game, does this serve as a throwaway game? As the playoff committee, do you look at this and say, hey, you know what, we're not going to count this because you're playing shorthanded?
Second down at 5 for the Hippos. Kyron Miller again, just kind of tiptoeing along that line around the outside, and once you get out there, you don't have any blockers.
No, and you would think that those first 4 or 5 runs that he had on this drive would maybe instill some confidence and show him that, hey, you can run that ball up the middle and have some success. But then, we call the counter play where he's designed to go outside, and then I think that kind of puts him back into his old ways of just wanting to bounce it outside. That's where he's the most comfortable.
Third down and 7, ball at the 12-yard line. 5:40 to go in the first half. Hutto leads at 7-6. I think the Hippos are going to have to probably take a timeout as the play clock's about to wind down. Nobody saw that?
No, we didn't have any coaches running over.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think that, and in high school, the only person that can call a timeout is the head coach, and so obviously he's not able to be watching everything at all times. So he's got to have his
Somebody's
other coaches in his
yeah.
ear saying, "Hey, we got to get that timeout." Especially when you're down on this close to the goal line, every yard is valuable, and you don't want to give up that free 5 yards. That timeout, especially in that first half, is so worth it.
Now you have a 3rd down and 12 situation. Hammond straight drop. Now going to roll to his right and going to keep it. Crosses the 15, takes it down to the 13-yard line, but the Hippos are going to have to settle for a field goal attempt, I would assume. Oh, scoreboard had 3rd down prior to that.
Field goal would be a little bit premature. That'd show a little bit of lack of confidence in your offense, huh?
I guess I should be.
Well, maybe that was wrong.
Yeah, see, the marker was
wrong
and the scoreboard was right.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, you back off. I'm keeping well in touch with what's going on out there.
I apologize.
First time I've heard you say that in your entire life. Gutierrez will attempt the field goal, placed at his own or at the 20-yard line. Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it is good. 4:20 to go in the first half. It's now Hutto 10, Stony Point 6. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
Hutto Family Eye Care has partnered with Hutto ISD for almost 10 years. Hutto Family Eye Care has been the leader and preferred provider of quality vision care products and personalized service to patients in Hutto. Their doctors use only the most advanced, state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. Give your vision the level of care and attention it deserves. Hutto Family Eye Care on Exchange Boulevard, across the street from the post office.
4:20 to go in the first half. Hutto stretches their lead to 10-6 after the Evan Gutierrez field goal, 30-yard field goal. And tell you once again, though, the Hippos had a nice drive going and a critical penalty. Third time, a critical penalty. This time it was a delay of game. Pushes them back. There's that high pooch kick. Going to be fair caught by the Tigers. So they'll have it first and 10 at the 25.
Was it fair caught? He took a knee.
Well, he fair caught it. He signaled.
I don't think he did.
He had his arm up.
Are they going to call that?
Yeah, 25.
Okay.
I'm not the only person that saw that.
No, look. The head linesman does not seem to think that they're putting this ball on the 25. I guess so. It's so funny, these guys that I think that a lot of people are confused on what the rule is, that you can fair catch it inside the 25 and that brings it out. But a lot of these guys are catching it, and it's the second time we've seen that this year where a guy takes a knee.
First and 10 for the Tigers at their own 25-yard line. Housen Flug hands off to Cook. He reverses course.
It's coming back.
Tackle at the 26, going to have a hold, I think, back at the 20-yard line. Great job by the Hippo defensive line so far. They're getting pressure in the backfield, both on running back and quarterback. And call a face mask.
Oh. Could you tell who he called that on? Here.
No, couldn't tell.
And I guess just like on offense, it's these critical penalties that are now hurting us on defense as well.
So move it up to the 41, first and 10 for the Tigers after the penalty. Hand off to Cook, and waiting for him in the backfield, number 51, Junior
he
Torres.
Blew that play up. He was all over that one. And again, that's something that we've seen a lot of this year is Junior Torres and Alden Full-Love and those guys just really getting back there and getting some good penetration and causing just some havoc in the backfield and some bad timing. And again, that frees other guys up that we've been calling their names, Zane Bolding and our typical Landon Watson and Braylon Sugg and Brody to come in and clean up those tackles. So they're kind of like the unsung heroes in the center of that defensive line.
Second down and 11, ball at the 40-yard line. Cook in the backfield with Housen Pluck, and Stony Point's going to call a timeout with 3:18 to go here in the first half. Hippos leading 10-6 in a game that, you look at the scoreboard, 10-6, and looks like a close game. Really, probably another one of those where the Hippos should be ahead by, I don't know, probably 20-6 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm curious to see.
Actually,
what the,
20-0. Stony Point's score came off of a 9-yard drive.
Right. I'm curious to see what the stats are at halftime. I mean, Stony Point can't have more than 50 yards.
No.
Their biggest
I think the
gain.
Hippos have more penalty yards than Stony Point has offensive yards.
Right. I mean, obviously they've got 9 yards off of the touchdown, and they've got at least 10 yards from that first play or that first third down conversion where he scrambled. Other than a big 15-yard penalty right there,
and mix in a bunch of losses.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking at probably 30 yards offense.
Put a man in motion going from right to left. Now he sets up as a blocking back handoff goes to Cook and just stuck and buried in the backfield. Zane Bolding once again.
Boy, that was a statement tackle too, wasn't it? It looked like he was driving one of those sleds.
I think we had another penalty against the Hippos. Or did he?
I think
no,
we called
he said
timeout. Yeah. What is it? It's third down. Yeah, we're trying to save some time and potentially get another score right before halftime.
Give a shout out to Bryce Doggett. Obviously, Bryce is normally down on the sidelines for us, but he and Hayden drove up to Wichita Falls to play in a golf tournament with Jake, a fundraiser. Of course, Jake, superstar All-American golfer at Midwestern State up in Wichita Falls, and so they're enjoying a nice day of golf. I know they're listening.
Day.
He said they're listening from their golf cart, so I guess while
there are worse things that you could be doing.
Yeah, right. Hopefully it's beautiful up in Wichita Falls today as it is here in Round Rock. And how unfair to have Jake on your team. As if Hayden and Bryce aren't good enough by themselves.
I know.
Third down and long. Heavy pressure coming from Brody. Oh, he almost picked that up off the deflection. Oh, Brody jumped in the face of the
what a play
quarterback
that
Hausenfluck as he let it fly. Brody tipped it up into the air, and he almost caught his own deflection twice.
That would have been – we might have had to submit that one to
ESPN?
Sports Center.
I think so.
Yeah, that was
unfortunately, it's going to go as an incomplete pass, but what an athletic play. Brody. Just to keep his eye on the ball after he deflected it.
You really, just the hand-eye coordination. Like you said, he had 3 chances to come up with that.
Punt, heavy pressure. And Gary Choice, nice job, fair catching that at the 37. That was very dangerous.
It was, but hey, he's got the confidence.
Saves a lot of yards again.
He's got the confidence to go catch those. And can you imagine football without the fair catch?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, like you have to catch it.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to, but
be some hurt guys. Well, yeah, might be some guys bailing out at the last second.
Yeah, that would be a punishment to have to be a punt returner.
So Hippos will take over 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line, leading 10-6, 2:53 to go in the first half. Will Hammond back in at quarterback. Straight drop, now pressure, steps up, swings his pass out to the left flat. Nice run, nice catch and run by number 26 for the Hippos, J.J. Banks.
And a good job of Hammond is
find
know where his safety
man.
valve is, yeah. And not only that, but to put it on him, I mean, that's a 30-yard throw across that field, and he zipped it over there.
1st and 10. Time, throwing over the middle, caught by number 82, Carson Forrest.
Boy,
nice
Hammond
job
looks
by Hammond
good back in the pocket.
He really does. Very
I think he went through 4 different receiver reads on that one through his entire progression. I think Carson Forrest might have been his 4th read and found him right across the middle and delivered a strike.
1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Straight drop again. Now again, finds his release man, Banks, at the 30. Kicks it outside to the 25 and then runs out at the 24-yard line.
Kind of finding some rhythm here.
Yep. You are right. He looks very comfortable back there in the pocket. He's trusting his blockers, stepping up when he needs to, and we've seen him scramble a couple of times.
Yeah. I mean, he's showing all the tools right now, and what a good security blanket to have, obviously, with Grayson being out this week, and who knows going forward. I mean, anything can happen. Someone could go down, and to have a kid like this in your back pocket and to know that he's only a freshman too, boy, that's exciting for the future.
Absolutely. First and 10 at the 24-yard line. Swinging a pass, trying to set up a little screen over on that right side. Complete to Jay Lambert, but a good job by the Tigers to sniff that one out. Gets it up to the 21, pickup of 3 yards. Going to be second down and 7. 2:02 to go in the first half. Hutto leads it 10-6. Well, I thought they were going to look left and swing it to Kyron Miller out of the backfield, but they looked back the other way. Miller in the backfield, sets up on the right side of Hammond. Got 1 receiver right, 3 receivers left side. It's Jay Lambert over there on that right side. Now Damian Jones goes in motion from left to right. Straight drop. Now he's going to swing it out backfield. He's got Kyron Miller. He's got a lot of room at the 20, at the 15, run out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
I think he's going to have just enough for a first down. They're going to move the chain.
Really close. They might have to measure this one.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and move him.
Yep, they are.
So now you gotta start taking your time. Minute 46 left.
14.
I mean, the clock is a non-factor at this point. You still have 2 timeouts.
Not a factor in terms of scoring. Like you said, you don't, of course,
Just
the
keep
way the
running your
Hippo defense
offense.
is played, if you score on this play, you trust your defense is going to go out there and get a stop.
Right.
So 3 receivers right side this time, single receiver left. That's Sean Davis. Snap back, Hammond looking. Now he's flush, 15-10. Turns it back outside and gets across the 10 down to the 7-yard line.
Oh, and I thought he was going to bend that run back to the right. He had a little bit of space over there.
He kind of turned it back
Yeah,
in.
that was interesting. And again, you love to see the confidence out of your quarterback to step up and run, but again, you're also that's a fine line, right? That's
well, you're the backup quarterback right now, and you're, like you said earlier, you're kind of the guy, and I'm sure he's playing with a lot of adrenaline, a lot of confidence based on how he's played here in this first half. But yeah, maybe might do some sliding practice.
Here
this next week.
Yep. I think the coaches might encourage that. It's not worth the extra 2 yards to potentially injure yourself. Or, I mean, not even injure yourself, but just the consistent beating that you're taking throughout the game, that takes a toll on you. And, again, as a freshman kid, your body is not used to this. And it looks like we got Brody in at quarterback right now.
So second down and 3. Yeah, Brody Bueno now in, running a little bit of a power package. Kyron Miller, Brody's just going to keep it. Starts outside, turns back inside, and dives forward, and he's got the Hippo touchdown. So Brody kind of tiptoed along that line, found a little seam. Looked kind of like what Kansas State quarterbacks do all the time.
Well, that's what we said last week about the Round Rock quarterback, and we said that he and Brody were pretty similar-looking kids, and that was a pretty similar-looking run. And like you said, great patience there by Brody to wait for that hole to open up, and then just when he decides he wants to turn it uphill, that's a freight train to bring down.
Evan Gutierrez on to attempt the PAT. Snap back, hold down, kick up, and good. I think they ran into the kicker possibly. Let's see what this flag is going to be. They're going to be holding against the Hippos. Yeah, they had I think they had a man trying to come around that left end, and somebody grabbed him. So push that. Boy, here we go again. Big penalty because this is going to make this extra point a little bit longer for Evan Gutierrez.
We know he's got the leg, and the wind is at his back. You would think it wouldn't be an issue, but you never know with these extra points. Even these NFL kickers can't make some of these.
Well, this is exactly what he kicked from this spot, a field goal earlier in the game, a 30-yard field goal. Now this will be a 30-yard extra point. High snap. There you go. Zane Bolden going to have to run the fire drill to his right. He's just going to throw it up and incomplete. Well, the penalty comes back and bites the Hippos. So penalties have just been, if you want to say one thing's gone wrong for the Hippos today, it's the penalties for sure. 58 seconds to go here in the first half. Hippos lead at 16-6 after that missed PAT. So basically they give that missed Stony Point PAT right back.
Yeah, and you mentioned that PAT might loom large, but I guess now it's kind of a moot point, right? It's a wash on either side. Or it could still loom large, right? Because
Absolutely.
now instead of being a point up or 9 points down.
You must be a math teacher.
Again, they've not really shown a lot of signs of moving the ball, so they've got bigger things to worry about than the missed extra point. But there's still a whole half to go.
Absolutely, and you as good as you want to feel about how the Hippos have played this half, it's hard to look away from those penalties.
Absolutely.
For sure.
But it is nice to see the offense moving the ball and having some success. That's something that we've
Absolutely. Fernandez with that high pooch kick, fielded at the 23-yard line. Going to return it this time or not. Slung down inside the 20. They'll give him the 25, so he might have been better off just fair catching that one.
That was interesting. He had Carson Forrest had him wrapped up, and he was ready to kind of do the Braylon Suggs suplex, throw him around, and he kind of hesitated waiting for the whistle and never heard one, and so then decided, hey, you know what, I guess we're just going to go ahead and do this. And finished as he intended.
So Stony Point will take over 1st and 10 at their own 25. 51 seconds to go in the first half. You wonder if they will probably be conservative, try to go to halftime only down 10, or if they'll be aggressive here.
Boy, I would think they'll probably get a run going here and see what they get.
Alson Flug hands off to Cook, crosses the 25 up to the 30-yard line, 2nd down and 5. See how much of a hurry they are in.
We'll see more of the same. I bet they snap this ball with 20 seconds left.
No, I think they're going to try to go a little bit faster than that. Snap back, hand off to Cook. Boy, bounces right, goes back left, and then swallowed up by the Hippos. 22 seconds left, and the Hippos, I don't think, are going to use their last timeout.
No, you don't have a lot to gain. Even if you stop them, they're going to end up punting the ball, and at most you basically risk muffing a punt and giving them a chance at a Hail Mary or a long field goal. And so I think we're content to take this one into the half as well.
And, yeah, we're not even going to see a timeout called by Stony Point. So we have reached halftime, a half that really, for all intents and purposes, completely dominated by the Hippos. The only 6 points on the board for Stony Point was on a 9-yard drive after a snap over the head of Hutto's punter was recovered at the 9-yard line. So they were able to get points out of that. Hippos have moved the ball well, but they've left a lot of points out on the field, and certainly I think the thing they're going to discuss probably at halftime is penalties, how penalties have really just contributed to them really not being in a blowout game right now.
Well, and I mean, obviously there's always these learning opportunities, but the one good thing about penalties being your issue is those are fixable.
Sure.
That has nothing to do with talent. That's all mental, and that's not easily fixed, but that is able to be fixed. And so that's what's killing you.
Yeah, and I mentioned, I even talked to Brad about it at the coaches show Monday night, that and so it's my fault, right? Because I jinxed them probably by saying that the Hippos have done really a good job of not having a lot of penalties, and here we are in this first half. You had one drive that was going nicely, and a holding penalty moved you back. You had another drive that was going nicely. You had a chop block that moved you back 15 yards, which that was actually the drive that ended up resulting in the snap over the punter's head.
That was the negative 64-yard drive.
Hippos had the ball all the way up to the 42-yard line approximately in Stony Point territory, and yeah, like you said, ended up turning it over at the 9-yard line in their own end. So, but all in all, I think the real takeaway from this first half is the play of freshman quarterback Will Hammond, starting in his not only starting in his first varsity game, playing in his first varsity football game. With Grayson Doggett, unavailable today, and them certainly wanting to focus Brody Bueno more on defense. Hammond has definitely been a jewel for the Hippos.
Yes, he has. No, he has stepped in, looked confident, and hadn't really missed a beat out there.
Well, we are at halftime. Hippos leading 16-6. We will we'll leave the video going. We'll turn the our microphones off and let you watch the Stony Point band or drill team. Unfortunately, of course, in this day and age of COVID, visiting bands are not allowed to travel. So just kind of changes, as we talked about a couple of times, it just changes the whole environment, right? You've got fans aren't able to travel as much, bands not traveling. It just changes everything. I mean, the football's still football, but all the other things are just a little bit different. So we'll be back in about 20 minutes. We'll leave it here with the live video feed and be back in about 20 minutes, getting ready for the start of the second half. Hippos lead at 16-6 over the Stony Point Tigers at halftime.
DeBoer is a member of the Stony Tiger football team. He is currently undecided on what university he will attend, but he plans on majoring in biology. Senior Merrill DeBoer. Merrill is a member of the Stony cross country and track program. He has been involved in student council and is currently in the IB program. He plans to attend Pace University to major in cybersecurity. Senior Cannon Hughes. Cannon is a part of the Stony Point Tiger Band and hockey program. He plans on attending Texas A&M and will major in biomedical sciences and public health. Senior Grace Iris. Grace has been a member of the Stony Point volleyball program since freshman year and is a member of the National Honor Society. He plans to attend either the University of Texas, Texas A&M, or Baylor for pre-med studies to go into the field of dermatology. Senior Solomon Washington. Solomon is a member of the Stony Point track program. He is committed to running track at the University of Texas and will major in science. Senior Hannah Fight. Hannah has been a member of the Stony Point soccer program for 3 years and is also a member of the National Honor Society. He plans on attending Texas A&M University to major in finance. Let's give a round of applause for the Stony homecoming court. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. Your 2020 Stony Point High School homecoming queen is Hannah Saeed. And the homecoming king for 2020 is
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Texas. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Texas did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Texas. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
The Hutto Family YMCA, proud to partner with Hutto ISD. The Hutto Family YMCA is a center for fitness, family, and community. They provide Hutto residents with a state-of-the-art facility for pay. ACDI, Al Clausen Disposal supports the Hippo Nation. ACDI is a locally owned family company that specializes in solid waste services, including residential, recycling, commercial, and roll-off. Al Clausen Disposal has grown into a top 100 ranked corporation. Their mission is simple. They're committed to providing safe, reliable, and environmentally sound waste solutions at cost-effective rates while embracing new ideas to reduce the carbon footprint. Al Clausen Disposal, your local choice for all your collection and disposal needs. ACDI says go Hippos!
Hutto Family Eye Care has partnered with Hutto ISD for almost 10 years. Hutto Family Eye Care has been the leader and preferred provider of quality vision care products and personalized service to patients in Hutto. Their doctors use only the most advanced, state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. Give your vision the level of care and attention it deserves. Hutto Family Eye Care on Exchange Boulevard, across the street from the post office.
Coming onto the field are your home team, the Stony Point Tigers. An update on a couple of District 25 football scores from last night. With Round Rock 55 and Neil 9, and Vanderbilt 35, Cedar Ridge 6.
Welcome back to Kelly Reese Stadium in Round Rock. We're at halftime. Hutto Hippos leading the Stony Point Tigers 16-6 in a game that first half that's just been really totally dominated by the Hippos. Probably should be much bigger margin than 16-6. Ryan, I don't know if you have the stats pulled up. You want to talk a little bit, but it's just been dominating by both Hutto offense and defense, but unfortunately probably Hutto penalties is the only thing keeping the Tigers in the game.
Hey, we're outgaining them penalty yards than they have on offense. We oversold we said they probably had about 50 yards. We were doubled that. They have 25 yards of total offense. And obviously their one score came off of a 9-yard drive after our negative 40-yard drive ended with the bad snap over Evan Gutierrez's head, and other than that, they have done nothing. I mean, they have one completion, and that came on the original third down conversion on the very first drive of the game. And other than that, they have had little to no success.
Well, Hippo defense will get a chance to pick up where they left off as Hippos kick off to start the second half. Eduardo Fernandez pops it up there and a good hang time. Fair caught at the 30-yard line, and that's where the Tigers will start first and 10. Yeah, and the Hippo offense obviously did very well, other than the penalties that moved them backwards on a couple of drives.
Yeah, the penalties. I mean, we've got 5 penalties for 55 yards, and that's a lot. I mean, that's more than 10 yards per penalty. Obviously, we had
and they've been crucial.
They have. They've come
penalties
at bad times, and yeah, that's been the only Achilles heel for us so far.
Skylar Hausenfluck in at quarterback for the Tigers, rolling to his left, has a receiver in and out of his hands.
That was
for number 18, Ivan Villegas, and yeah, probably the best. I dare say the best offensive play they've run all day, although it ended up as incomplete.
It really did.
Pass.
Look, it looked very smooth and well run. It was a good ball and just right through the hands of the receiver. And he had his man beat. I couldn't tell who it was in coverage, and he had his man beat and had some running room, and fortunately wasn't able to corral it.
Second down and 10. Cook lines up in the backfield with Hausenfluck. Going to run a little quarterback draw and will pick up about 2 yards. Good job by the Hippos to string that out. Number 4, Jose Pena, really kind of ran him over to the sideline, and then Brody Bueno was over to clean it up.
I think one of the most improved units that we've seen through the first 5 games has been the cornerback play, and not necessarily in coverage, but with those outside runs. You know, we talked about it so much early on that just giving up that outside contain and those big runs. And, boy, between Jose Pena and Anthony Martinez and those 2 corner spots, they have done a phenomenal job.
Third down and 8 for the Tigers. Just underway here in the second half. Hausenfluck rolling to his left. Wants to turn it upfield. It's got some running room across the 35. And shoestring tackle at the 43-yard line by Pena. But I tell you, Hausenfluck turned it against the grain and had some running room. If he had gotten outside of Pena,
he might have
picked up another 20 or 25.
Yeah. That was really a well-covered and well-played play there by the Hutto defense. And unfortunately, sometimes you just overcommit a bit too much, and he was able to find that cutback lane and pick up the first down. Like you said, fortunate that Pena was there to stop him for just a first down.
First and 10 at the 43, rolling to his left again, trying to set up a little swing pass. He does, complete across midfield to the 49-yard line. Well, I think certainly the Tiger coaching staff probably talked about something at halftime and found that they might have some success, because 3 out of 4 plays, I think this half, they've rolled him to the left.
Well, we've been having so much success, plugging up that run, and that all starts with those linebackers and those defensive linemen getting such a good push. And the flip side to that is that does take them out of those passing lanes, and when you're able to run that play-action bootleg, those guys are so sucked up that it kind of opens up a lot of holes, and you're able to just drop that one in there, especially when, a lot of times you're running those bootlegs, so you've got the receiver or the tight end coming across the formation, which means we have a defender that's trailing him and chasing him, and that's usually a pretty well set up play if they can get there in time. And now we've seen 2 successful plays thus far, and there's the second completion of the day for the Tigers, so they just doubled their completions.
Hippos had an injury on the play after a pickup of 9, so second down and 1, and Stony Point Tigers looking for probably their first possession where they have consecutive first downs.
We'll see.
Cook in the backfield. Handoff goes to him. He's stuck. Nice job by the Hippos. The initial hit, I believe, was made by Dietrich Williams.
Yeah, it was Dietrich Williams, and then Brody came in the blitz, and I think that Junior Torres was there to eventually clean it up. And hey, get him in second and short and force him to almost force him to run up the middle. That's exactly what we want him to do. So
a loss of a yard, third down and 2 now. Cook in the backfield with Hausenfluck. Handoff goes to him. He's got a little bit of room, but a nice job by the Hippos to close. Number 33, Jalen Parkinson. thought he had some room, but Jalen Parkinson came flying up and tackled him for another loss back to midfield. So, yeah, you're right. I mentioned they had a good shot at getting consecutive first downs. Now they have a 4th down and 3 from midfield. They need the 47.
And look for them to roll out again, I think, or actually maybe pooch punt this.
And you're exactly right. Hausenfluck lets it fly, kicks at the 15, takes a nice Stony Point bounce, and it's going to be killed at the 2-yard line.
Again, we talked about this last week because Round Rock seemed to do the same thing, but I don't understand why every single team in America does not do that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, you have to respect the option to go for it there. And it's, if you've got a quarterback, then just kick. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of skill to just kick the ball and have it roll down there. I mean, that's it just seems so obvious, and the options that you have coming out of that are just so much greater, especially when you're in kind of that no man's land area, you know, between the 40s and where you can pin that ball down there. That's just it seems like a no-brainer, and I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe see that with the rest of the teams going forward, seeing that after they've seen how we play it.
So 1st and 10 for the Hippos at their own 2-yard line. Brody Bueno in at quarterback. Handoff, boy, barely getting it out of the end zone. Handoff went to J.J. Banks, and he was barely able to get it out of that end zone. It's tackled inside the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and remember, when you're down on backed up against your own goal line, it's opposite. You've got to get the entire ball across the plane. It's not like when you're scoring a touchdown.
Right.
Having to break the plane, and when you're backed up, you've got to get the entire ball across. If any part of that ball is not across that plane, then
you got to have
safety.
Good ball protection down here
well,
too.
Don't get a holding call in the end zone.
Yeah, exactly. Snap back. Brody looking left. He's got threw it just behind Sean Davis at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, he had some space there, and like you said, that was
this is where you wonder. Maybe Brody should do that that quick kick out of their end zone right here.
Right. Yeah. Well,
you know, the punt situation, Hippos have only punted once today, and that was a snap over the punter's head. And we saw that last week too, so maybe this is a deal where you let the Hippos go ahead and quick kick it, and your defense has played great all day long. Don't give the Tigers a chance to recover it. Snap back to Brody. He's going to keep it going left side, turns it up, and again just gets it out of the end zone, tackled at the 1-yard line. So the Hippos end up with -1 yard on that. They started at the 2, they ended at the 1, and now they will punt. And again, watch out for this snap, because last week a snap went over Brody's head. Earlier today, a snap went over the punter's head, and right now Brody is standing with his heels almost at the, or actually Evan Gutierrez standing with his heels at the back of the end zone, and even if he has to jump and catch it, if he lands.
Yes, but if this is a bad snap, I think we're better off taking a safety.
Might be right. Snap back. Gutierrez gets the punt away. Going to bounce at the 30-yard line and roll across the 35. Going to be killed by the Hippos at the 36-yard line. So temporarily escape some danger. But Stony Point's going to have their best starting position all game at the Hippo 36-yard line. 7:44 to go in the third quarter. Hutto leads at 16-6. Going to give a shout out to superfan Lynn Gutierrez, one of our teachers at the high school. She listens every week or watches. I keep saying listening this year. This year it's watching.
We're on TV. I don't know what you're talking about. Big time football now.
That's right. She says, keep it up, Hutto. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the Hutto 36-yard line. Put a man in motion from left to right. Now he sets up as a blocking back. Just floats the ball up, and it is somehow caught. The 30-yard line, inside the 30 at the 29. My goodness. Caught by number 23, Donovan Zuniga, and Hausenfluck had heavy pressure, and he just basically threw it up there, but there was not the only Hippo covering had his back turned. That had danger written all over it, and turns out to be a 7-yard gain for the Tigers. So 2nd down and 3, ball at the 29-yard line. Hand off to Cook, going right side, has maybe just enough for the first down. Needed the 26, and he gets it just enough for that first down. Well, they had 25 total yards in the first half, and I think they've already surpassed that here in the second half. This time running left side. It's got a little bit of room. Getting it outside at the 20-15 and run out of bounds around the 10-yard line. Well, I think the Tigers discovered that it's that right side of the Hippo offense that seems to be a little weaker, because pretty much everything they've done so far this half has been running to that left side, their left side,
Their
Hippo
left, our
defensive
right, yeah.
right. So 1st and 10, ball at the 13-yard line. Nice drive after the great field position by the Tigers. Cook has plenty of room at the 10, cuts it inside to the 5, tumbles across a Hippo defender and brought down at the 2-yard line, and the Stony Point Tigers are going to have it 1st and goal at the Hippo 2-yard line.
Yeah, kind of flipped a switch, and you know, a lot of the plays in the first half, they were looking to run directly up the middle, right into the teeth of our big boys, right in the at the nose tackle position. And now they're swinging these runs a little bit wider, and you know, we play kind of a really wide front. You know, we've got the 2 down linemen, but then Braylon and Landon are so wide that it creates those gaps on the outsides.
Running a little wildcat this time. Cook. Quarterback Hausenfluck sets up as a blocking back. Cook's going to keep it, trying to get right side, dives. Tell you, ball popped loose. They're going to say he was brought down at the 1, maybe just inside the 1-yard line. That was very close to a fumble rolling out of the front corner of the end zone.
Which, again, it's the stupidest rule in football.
Yeah.
It makes no sense why that is a touchback, but
so the ball is basically 1 foot from the goal line. Hausenfluck in at quarterback. Probably going to keep this. He is. Looks for a place, and penetration by the Hippo defense. Waiting the signal.
No?
They're going to say he's short.
Yeah. Looked like Jalen Parkinson and Junior Torres getting back there, and were able to grab him up and showed some good strength. And
Junior Torres for sure got through there.
Man, he's having himself a game. I mean, he has been disrupting every single play, it seems like.
So 3rd and goal from inside the 1. Hausenfluck going to keep it left side this time, wrapped up for a loss. Good penetration by the Hippos. Braylon Sugg able to bring him down and move him back to the 3 and see if they settle for the field goal.
Oh, and what a
great
stand
by
if they end up
Hutto
holding.
defense.
Yeah. That was an interesting play. It almost looked like a direct snap, like a little bit of trickery that I believe the running back, was that Cameron Cook. He jumped up and acted like it was a bad snap to him, and the snap ended up going to Hausenfluck, who was running on the left side. But well aware of that was Braylon Sugg, and was able to wrap him up for the loss.
20-yard field goal attempt, snap back, hold down, kick up. It's good. So the Tigers are able to come away with 3 points, but say probably victory for the Hippo defense on that one after that goal line stand. 4:25 to go in the 3rd quarter. It's now Hutto 16, Stony Point 9. You're listening to Hutto Hippo football on SHN Sports.
A-Plus Federal Credit Union is a longtime supporter of Hutto ISD. Earn cash back and support Hippo Nation with the student-designed A-Plus FCU Hutto ISD Hippo debit card. When you use your Hippo debit card, you and Hutto ISD both earn up to 10 cents with every purchase. Hutto ISD has received over $71,000 in cash back from A-Plus FCU members since August 2016. Stop by the Hutto branch on Ed Schmidt Boulevard to get your card and start earning today. Membership required, insured by NCUA.
Tigers put a field goal on the board to cut the Hippo lead to 7, 16-9. They will now kick off. Ball going to be fielded by the Hippos. A little bit of a return set up at the 20-25, trying to get outside, and brought down at the 31-yard line was Damian Jones. 4:17 to go in the 3rd quarter, and see if the Hippo offense can get something going. The last possession, they started at their own 2, then had to punt from the back of their end zone.
Yeah, and you know, when you're backed up on the 1-yard line, there's only so much that you can do, right? It's you're basically trying to avoid the catastrophic either quick pick 6 or strip 6 or safety, and you just wanted to punt it and see if you can come away with a field goal.
Will Hammond, freshman quarterback, back in for the Hippos. Hands off to J.J. Banks. Takes it across the 28 near the 20 or 34-yard line. Hammond was 11 of 12 for 188 yards in the first half and 1 touchdown on his second pass as a varsity quarterback. This time finds Jay Lambert, spins out of a tackle, brought down at the 39-yard line, 38. It'll be 3 yards short. Hippos need the 41. Well, if you're the offense, you need to probably sustain something here. Don't want to put your defense immediately back on the field.
No, and I would say look for a little, maybe a little screen pass.
I was going to say a screen or maybe even a little swing pass out of the backfield to Banks. Tigers looking like
one-on-one coverage with Jay Lambert down on the bottom.
Tigers looking like they're going to bring pressure. Here they come from the left side. Handoff goes to Banks, and good penetration by the Stony Point Tigers, and Banks is tackled for a loss at the 36-yard line.
Well, and see, I don't know what kind of freedoms that they give Grayson in terms of audibling, but that's a situation where, as a freshman quarterback, you probably don't have the experience to see that blitz coming, and someone like Grayson probably might be able to get that and check out of it and maybe find a quick pass. Like I said, Jay Lambert was down there one-on-one coverage, and if he can throw a little stop route to him, that could be an easy conversion. But obviously, in his first game, that's something that's probably not on his mind.
Evan Gutierrez back to punt for the Hippos. Gets the punt away. Boy, you had a guy right in his face that didn't even stretch his arms out. Punt's going to roll dead inside the 30, killed at the 28-yard line, and that's where the Tigers will take over. Tell you, did you see the guy come right up the middle? And it seemed like if he would have stuck his arms out, he might have had a chance to get a hand on that
punt.
punt.
I thought so. He kind of short-armed it, and that was I think maybe he was afraid he was going to get a roughing the punter penalty. It's interesting why why Evan Gutierrez is doing the punting.
Yeah,
I don't think we've seen him punt all year. It's
No.
been, but I guess Brody hasn't exactly been dominating in that
up.
category. So
First and 10 for the Tigers at their own 28-yard line. Hippos leading 16-9, 2:29 to go in the third quarter. A game that really feels like should be a much wider margin than it is. I mean, the Tigers are only a score within tying this ball game up.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? And boy, what a quick game too. We've got 2 minutes left in the third quarter already.
Yeah, Tigers had 25 total yards offense in the first half. Hippos had, what was it,
245
40-something? And here we are, only a touchdown and extra points separating the two. Second down and 8 for Stony Point. Cook in the backfield with Hausenfluck. Going to roll to his right this time, being chased by Braylon Sugg, and he's just going to throw it out of bounds. Braylon was chasing him from the backside. Of course, Landon Watson was staring at him in the front side, and that's a sandwich you don't want to be the part of.
Well, and that's one of those situations when you're a quarterback running away, you don't necessarily know that Braylon's hawking you down from behind, and sometimes we see them sprint out to their right and kind of set their feet and want to set up and throw, and you better be careful when you've got Braylon bearing down on you like that. And fortunate for him that he was able to just throw that one away.
Third down and 8 for the Tigers at their own 30-yard line. Hippos need to get a stop right here and then end up with good field position. Heavy pressure coming from Hausenfluck, trying to set up a screen, but he dumps it in the ground. Intended for Cook. I don't think he was going to go very far, even if he had caught it.
He had Charles Green right there in his face ready to.
Well, as a quarterback, you want the pressure coming at you when you're setting up a screen like that. But yeah, and I not that quickly, and maybe not those guys, as in Sugg and Landon Watson. Snap back, nice punt. Going to be Gary lets that one bounce, then he fields it on the hop. Yeah, I think a little indecisive that time. I think he had a chance to field that one and probably return it.
I was going to say, that looked like the first one he had a chance to actually do something with, and that's the one that he decided not to catch at all. And
I don't know if maybe had just a little funny spin and he wasn't confident in it.
Well, and two, I'm looking at the shadows on the field, and that sun is directly where that ball might have been, and so that's something that these guys are also not used to. Obviously, playing on Friday nights, that sun's always down. So playing Saturday afternoon, that's another factor.
First and 10 for the Hippos at the 33. Trying to set up a screen pass. Gary Choice has it at the 35. Trying to get outside, breaks a tackle at the 40. And that's where he'll be brought down. So nice little play, pick up about 7 yards for the Hippos on the play.
You know, the first 2 drives of this half have been very different than the drives that we saw in the first half, where, you know, we saw a lot of those screen passes and success with the passing game, and haven't seen that. Look for that to happen now.
Second down and 3, trying to set up a screen again. Sean Davis, this time well read by the Tigers. They sniffed that out, and I'm not sure he gained any yardage on that one.
No, and they didn't get a lot of help from Gary Choice out there blocking. And you got to think that maybe if you're going to run that, you might want to switch that and have Sean blocking and Gary doing the running.
Well, bad spot, too. He had the ball up to the 40-yard line, but they're going to mark it at the 38.
Well, you know, I think he might have kind of regained his they pushed him back initially, and then Sean kind of regained his momentum, and you know, that unfortunately that's where the ball becomes spotted.
So third down and 5 now. Hammond, the quarterback, snap back, hand off to Kyron Miller's got a little bit of room. He fumbled the ball, thought he was down, but they're going to say no, picked up by the Tigers, and they're going to have it at the Hippo 41-yard line, and then flags fly afterwards.
There's going to be a 15-yarder at the end of this play. I couldn't tell who it was, but a Tiger defender came in and cut block 54 Jackson Mercer low. The fumble's going to stand, and boy, unfortunate, because I think he would have had the first down.
Yeah, he was right at it.
And like you said, you thought he was down. I think that ball was coming out. He got a knee or a helmet just right on the ball and lost it. And that's something that we've talked about a lot this year is seeing that Kyron's.
Well, they're replaying it on the board here. Let's see. And it could have been that he was still on top of a defender. Let's see. No, it came out for sure.
Bug. And then here we see the cut block.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to be a blindside block, actually.
But after the turnover, Tigers will have it at their own 41-yard line. I tell you, they've had the field position so far here in the second half, and we're down to 20 seconds already remaining in the third quarter. Hippos only lead it 16-9. Hausenflug puts a man in motion. Now a little pitch to Cook going left. And breaks away from some tackles and reverses it to the right side. Has a little bit of running room. Crosses 45 up to the 48-yard line. Well, they had him just swallowed up for a loss of yardage. And somehow he got out of those tackles, reversed it to the right side, and ends up turning it into about a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, he had Brody and Dietrich Williams down on this right side. And like you said, just slipped right through him. And Theo Anderson and Jose Pena were the ones that had to end up making that tackle on the back end. Luckily, they were there to keep it from being a bigger play.
Well, and just like that, we have already reached the end of the third quarter. We've played 3 here at Kelly Reeves Stadium in Round Rock. It's Hutto Hippos 16, Stony Point Tigers at 9. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
The Hutto Family YMCA, proud to partner with Hutto ISD. The Hutto Family YMCA is a center for fitness, family, and community. They provide Hutto residents with a state-of-the-art facility for programs and events that focus on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. The YMCA works with Hutto ISD to provide an after-school program and other events such as Friday Night Live for middle school students. Check out the Hutto Y or call 512-846-2360. The Hutto Family YMCA. Strength from within.
We are set to start the fourth quarter here in Round Rock, and it's turned into a ball game again. One that you look at statistics, and Hippos have absolutely dominated this one. But here we are with a 16-9 ball game. They only lead it by 7, and the Tigers have it second down at the 48-yard line, trying to set up a screen pass, breaking a tackle at midfield and run out of bounds. Going to be short of the first down by about a yard, and the Hippo defense has a chance to get another stop right here.
Yeah, well, and here you go, third down and short, and we've seen little to no success for the Tigers thus far today, and we'll see if they can get it done. You almost wonder if they're going to try something else besides just going right up the middle.
Well,
maybe
you wonder if maybe even a play action and throw deep, because the Hippos are just really converging at that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, well, they've got a
third down, 1 yard needed. Snap. Oh, they tried a little, like you said, tried something fancy. Fumble picked up by Cook. He's got a little bit of running room, and he might end up with the first down. Yep. I'll be darned. Boy, gets it at the 48-yard line, enough for the first down. They tried that little direct snap to the man in motion, Datron Hill, number 7. He fumbled it, And Cook was there to scoop it up, took it around the left side. And no, actually, it looks like they're going to mark him short.
Wow,
Originally, that
looked like a tough spot.
Well,
I thought that.
Yeah, originally the official went in and marked it at about the 48 and Hippo into the field, but now they place it back at the 49, so it is going to go as a loss of a yard. But that could have been a real disaster for the Tigers and a real benefit for the Hippos. But now it's 4th down, 2 yards needed.
And do they pooch punt here or do they go for it? Yeah, they're going to pooch punt it.
Fluck backs up. Snap back. Ooh, he had heavy pressure. Almost got blocked. He's going to shank it out at the Hippo 32-yard line, so net of about 18 yards on that. But
well, going back to that 3rd down play, I thought he was a yard past the line, and I'd be curious to see a replay on that.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe he might have stepped out of
that's
bounds.
what I'm wondering,
but,
if he stepped out.
Yeah, I mean,
For
could
the
have been a disastrous play for the Tigers, and it could have been a disastrous play for the Hippos, and I guess it all worked out in the end for both squads.
I guess. Once again, the Hippo defense does a good job. So 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line and their own end of the field, hanging on to a 16-9 lead.
We throw one deep here.
Will Hammond, the quarterback, with a straight drop. Got some pressure coming from the backside and just throws it away. Good job by Hammond.
Boy, they wanted to. We were looking deep.
So 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10, Hutto at their own 32.
J.J. Banks has been pretty quiet today. You know, we were expecting him to come back and really kind of open up this offense, and it's been interesting.
Well, I think part of it is as the handoff goes to Banks, starts right, turns back left, gets it up to the 34-yard line, only a pickup of 2 yards, and it's going to be a 3rd down and long situation. I have to think that they came in thinking that they were probably going to keep it on the ground a little bit more with a freshman quarterback, but I think Hammond has been so impressive that they've had a little more confidence to turn his arm loose.
Yeah, but, you know, even you expect Banks with that speed to probably do a little more out of the backfield, and I guess, you know, being the first game back, they're probably wanting him to
Just
ease
being
in a
little
little
careful
bit.
with him
Yeah.
too. 3rd down and 8. Fake the handoff, looking over the middle. He's got a man at midfield, breaking free at the 47-yard line, and then a penalty flag flies. That was Damian Jones. I don't know if this was going to be I don't know what that was.
Maybe a
Possibly
defensive holding.
Or a face mask? Flag was dropped at the 45 and Tiger into the field. I didn't see any kind of
I don't know.
block in the back or.
Well, a good job there by Damian Jones.
Looking at the replay, I think they might have grabbed a face mask.
Yeah. Well, our guys are kind of stepping backwards.
Is this going to be marked off against Hutto?
Block in the back.
Block in the back.
Wow.
Well, I didn't see it. I looked at the replay on the board. It was wherever it was or whatever it was far away from the ball.
I think it's going to be enough for a first
very
down.
Unnecessary.
Oh.
It's going to be about, it's right at the mark. They need the 42.
Yeah, they're going to give us
they're
the
going to
first
say
down.
the point of the ball is just enough. For
Cost us
first
the
down.
10, but, you know, get the first. And
well, that one could have been another killer penalty for the Hippos, but they come away with the first down. But again, a nice job by Will Hammond to stay in the pocket and find his receiver breaking open over the middle. 1st and 10, 42-yard line, snap back. Looking left, throwing left. He's got a man in the left flat. That's Banks running out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Pickup of about 4 yards on the play.
Running out of bounds at the 46, a gain of 4. It's
2nd down and 6 for the Hippos. 10:34 to go in the ball game. They lead it 16-9. You really want to go get a score here and put a lot of pressure on that Stony Point offense.
well, and if nothing else, at least pick up another first down or two and flip the field.
Straight drop, throw over the middle, caught. Boy, he threaded that one in there. Nice job finding Jay Lambert at the 40-yard line. A lot of confidence in Will Hammond.
Boy, and a second time that we've seen 2 receivers in the same spot. He had Damian Jones. Either one of them could have caught
Could have
that
made the
ball,
catch.
and I guess Jay just happened to be right in there in front of him. And
Yeah, Jones had better coverage on Jay Lambert than any Tiger.
And boy, he throws a very confident ball across the middle.
1st and 10 at the 39-yard line, and Tiger into the field. Hand off to Banks, trying to get outside, can't. Wrapped up by Stony Point. A little extra activity after the whistle blows. So a loss of yard back to the 40. Second down and 11, 9:45 to go in the ball game. Hippos leading 16-9. What do you call here? A little swing pass.
We
Well,
might run a little
Kyron Miller.
counter pass or a counter run with Kyron.
Hammond going to roll to his left. Looking over the middle, he's got a man, and that is Gary Choice. He had it inside the 30, kind of slipped down, jumped back up, and lost a little bit, but I think he regained it for the first down. And again, nice job by Will Hammond to find his man open in the middle of the field. That was Gary Choice, 1st and 10 Hippos at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, ran that play action and had Jacob Randles, the kind of the wing back, sliding across the in the flat route.
Handoff goes to Kyron Miller. Starts left, turns back up, and pounds it forward to the 21. Pickup of 7 yards by Kyron Miller.
And again, going north and south, and you just got to wonder at some point it's going to click with him that
he has more
that's
success.
his specialty. You know, he's not built to go east and west. He needs to be going towards the end zone, and it's amazing what can happen when you get that confidence and trust your blocking.
Second down and 3. Fakes a handoff. Looking over the middle, has a man. That's Gary Choice. Inside the 10, going to be marked down at the 9-yard line.
Oh, exact same play. We just flipped it from 2 plays ago. We had Jacob Randles now coming in the flat route, go to the right side, and that sucks all these linebackers up, and it leaves that drag route running 10 to 15 yards in the middle of the field, just wide open. And boy,
good hands
Hammond
by
is
Gary
doing
Choice, too.
Yeah, and Hammond's doing a great job of finding those guys and putting it where it needs to be in a safe spot.
First and goal for the Hippos at the 9. Straight drop, throwing left corner. Little push off is caught by Sean Davis. Touchdown. The front left side, left corner of the end zone. Hippo touchdown. A little bit of arm fighting going on between Sean Davis and the defender, and Sean just goes up and grabs it out of the air, and it's a touchdown for the Hippos with 8:08 to go. Nice drive by Hutto. Started that one at their own 32-yard line, so 68 yards later. Hammond connects with Sean Davis for the touchdown to put the Hippos up by 2 scores now.
Boy, confident drive. Every ball was near where it needed to be and capped it off with a great fade route where only Sean could catch it.
Snap back, hold down, kick up by Gutierrez is good. 8:08 to go in the ball game. It's now Hutto 23, Stony Point 9. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
Hutto Family Eye Care has partnered with Hutto ISD for almost 10 years. Hutto Family Eye Care has been the leader and preferred provider of quality vision care products and personalized service to patients in Hutto. Their doctors use only the most advanced, state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. Give your vision the level of care and attention it deserves. Hutto Family Eye Care on Exchange Boulevard, across the street from the post office.
Welcome back to Kelly Reeves Stadium in Round Rock. Todd Robinson, Ryan Robinson, Gage Bowles doing the engineering. Hippos score on a nice drive, 68 yards. Cap it off with a 9-yard touchdown pass. Will Hammond to Sean Davis in the front left corner of the end zone. And the Hippos stretch their lead to 23-9 with 8:08 to go in the ball game in what has been a very fast game. We're only right now 2 hours into this thing. Kickoff is fair caught.
And that's with the, 24-minute high school?
28-minute halftime. Exactly. It'll be the fastest game we've ever played.
Yeah, seems like it.
Stony Point will take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Well, if you're the Hippo defense, if you can get another stop right here, you can almost kind of seal the deal, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, with
there's a ball on the ground, snap behind Hausenfluck, and he picks it up, trying to run to his left, and somehow he's able to escape for about
we got
20
a flag
yards,
coming in late.
A flag comes in late. I'm not sure what that's going to be.
I don't know, but you just if that's against the Hippos, that's just unnecessary.
I didn't see anything late.
No, unless it's a face mask. Our coaches are kind of throwing their arms up like it is
that
against
ball was
us.
snapped. Hausenfluck picked it up at about the 15 and
I think we might get an unnecessary roughness here.
After the play, unsportsmanlike.
Yep. Call against Braylon.
Yeah,
Sugg.
well,
Gonna be 15 yards. Not sure what exactly that is.
I'm guessing that he came in with a late hit or something, and he's due for one of those every game.
Well,
it sure seems like.
Which Adam Harvey wasn't very happy about that. Braylon's going to come out for at least a play, and he's your next door neighbor. You can ask him
I'll
exactly what
talk
happened
to him
there.
about it.
So 1st and 10 at the 36 for the Tigers after the 15-yard march off against the Hippos. Handoff, a little bit of running room across the 40, 45 midfield into Hippo territory, and brought down at the 45-yard line was number 4, Cameron Cook. By far his longest run of the day.
Boy, and a well-run run there. I mean, he did a good job, multiple cutbacks, finding the lanes, and you hope that the Hippo defense is not getting complacent with still 7.5 minutes left. I mean, you don't want to give up a score here and give them any sort of life.
Snap back. Hausenfluck looking right corner, and it is picked off on the deflection by the Hippos. Return to the 40, 45 is Theo Anderson. So Hippo, great coverage. You had 2 men there. One of them tipped it up, and then Theo Anderson grabbed the deflection and returns it to midfield where the Hippo offense will set up in great position.
Well, Jose Pena was in position to pick that off, and Theo came from that safety position, and boy, he was in even better position to pick it, and he almost tipped it away from both of them. And kind of like we saw earlier with Brody, where he tipped it up and almost tipped it back to himself. Yeah, luckily, Theo was able to come down with that one.
And if anybody deserves an interception, it's Pena.
I know.
He has had such great coverage all year, but, he just sometimes suffers from a size disadvantage. But, hey, he gets an assist on that one. So they actually said he ran out at the 45, so the Hippos will set up 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line, leading 23-9, 7:15 to go in the ball game. Handoff goes to Banks, trying to take it right side, and good penetration by the Stony Point Tigers. Number 51, Alex Campos, in on the tackles and loss of about 3 yards.
Yeah, and Gabe Lozano, his man put kind of a double move on him and was able to come right inside and slip by him and disrupt the timing on that right there. And you'll give him a pass there because Gabe's been a kind of a staple on that offensive line for a couple years, and things happen.
2nd down, 13 at the 42. Hammond looking, now pressured. Ball, I don't know if they're going to say incomplete.
Wow.
It looked like it almost slipped out of his hand.
He must have been going forward. That was fortunate because there were no Hippos there to go pick that one up, and that was a clear recovery there by the Tigers.
They're going to call it incomplete, so 3rd down and 13 at the 42. 6:36 to go in the ball game. Hippos leading 23-9.
I think maybe some sort of draw here might be good. I would expect them to bring some pressure from the outside. They've been doing that all game with these 3rd and long situations, and draw them out and see if you can run right up the middle.
Straight draw by Hammond, looking left, and it is caught. Nice job by Sean Davis again. Well, they're just picking on the defender over there on that left side, and Will Hammond.
He's found a man he can trust, I guess, in Sean Davis. And
kind of threw that corner
that
out.
was a one-handed snag.
Sean
he had
Davis
his left
went
hand tied up.
1st and 10. Hippo, running a little slant intended for Carson Forrest. He had running room at the 25, but
he did, and
probably
I think
looked upfield before he watched the ball all the way into his hands.
Yeah, and that ball might have been tipped at the last second, or if it wasn't, I think that Carson was expecting it to be. Just threw him off just enough.
And I think he was turning his head to see what was in front of him.
Well, yeah, seeing who was about to hit him.
2nd down and 10. Handoff to Kyron Miller. Rumbles left
Stay
side.
in bounds, big man.
Shoestring tackle inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line. Going to be about 2 yards short of the 1st down, 3rd down, and 2. They actually need 1. They mark it at the 26.
Well, you figure you probably got 2 plays here. I mean, well, I say that. A field goal puts you up by 3 scores.
Yeah,
but I think you take your
your
chances with
defense
going
is
for it. Absolutely.
Unless you lose yardage on this play.
Well, then you still don't kick a field goal.
Snap back. Hammond rolling to his right, throwing back left. He's got a man wide open, caught at the 15-yard line was J.J. Banks. Nice play.
That was a sweet play. They ran the play action to J.J., and Hammond rolls out to his right, and
then throws
all of a sudden
back
we
left.
got the backside wheel route, and nobody's ready for it. And Boy, that was a sweet play. I like that. He also had 15 Jacob Randalls in the flats, so that would have been an easy first down. Obviously, that was not the play call, but he had 2 good options there.
1st and 10 at the 14-yard line for the Hippos. Snap back to Hammond, hands off to Banks, starts left, turns back up the middle, pushes it forward to the 12, look up for 2, 2nd down and 8. 5 minutes to go in the ball game. Hutto leads it 23-9, trying to put the kind of final nail in the Tiger coffin here on Halloween Day ball game. Beautiful day in Round Rock. Beautiful day for football. 2nd down, 8 yards needed. Kyron Miller back in the game, sets up on the right side of Hammond. Snap back, handoff goes to Miller. Starts left. Well, nice little move. Kind of started left, stutter step back right. Found a hole in the middle, takes it down to the 7-yard line.
Yeah, and they're content to just run this clock.
3 yards needed for the Hippos. 4:20 to go in the ball game.
Honestly, a first down here to about the 3-yard line might be more beneficial than a touchdown, because you could then run 3 more plays and keep milking this clock.
Handoff goes to Miller. He rumbles forward across the 5 down to the 3. I think you might have called
there we
it.
go.
No, let's see. They mark it back to the 4. It's going to be 4.
No, they gave him the first down.
Okay.
Actually.
Yep, first down. So 1st and goal for the Hippos at the 4-yard line. Now they bring Brody in, kind of run that more jumbo package out of the backfield.
Yeah, and like I said, that's kind of best case scenario for you is you get the first down without the touchdown, and now all of a sudden you can essentially milk this clock all the way to under 2 minutes, assuming Stony Point doesn't score any time. Or
88% chance Brody keeps this. Snap back to Brody, and he does keep it. Takes it forward, powers over a couple of defenders into the end zone for the Hippo touchdown. So Brody Bueno just lowers his shoulder, runs over a couple of guys, and the Hippos add another one on the board with 3:29 to go in the ball game. Stretch your lead to 29-9 with the PAT to come. Nice drive again by the Hippos.
I'm not sure if Brody was supposed to run left or right. It looked like all his blockers went right, and he chose left because that's where the most blue shirts were that he could make contact with.
Should get extra points for that. Snap back, hold down, kick by Gutierrez is blocked. Actually, he never even got the kick away, I don't think.
No,
I don't know if that was a fumbled snap.
I think Zane Bolding fumbled it a little bit, and we had that mishap 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago with I think it was 2 weeks ago against McNeil, where Zane pulled it and actually got himself a 2-point conversion passing, and maybe he did that one on purpose.
Second time today they've had a little miscue on the snap, and
and obviously that's not going to end up hurting you today, but that's something that you got to clean up. I mean, those points could prove to be extremely valuable.
Well, Evan, it's almost like he lost it at the last second, because Evan made his plant and his leg for a kick, but pulled the old Charlie Brown on him, I guess.
As a kicker, you're just trusting that holder's going to get it there in time, and I guess Zane figured that he was running out of half seconds to work with or milliseconds to work with, and just pulled it last second.
I like the way that you narrow that down to milliseconds.
Yeah, we're going to find the right one. You don't want to be still fumbling that while you don't want to have your hand on the back of the ball when he takes a big swing at it.
That's a good point. 3:29 to go in the ball game. Hippos lead at 29-9. Fernandez with his patented pooch kick, fielded at the 20 and fumbled at the 19. And boy, breaking away. A little bit of running room at the 25, 30, 35 is Cook. He takes it all the way up. Boy, how many times do you see that?
It's crazy.
A fumbled snap on a kick return that turns into a nice return. I think
it seems like
it just throws everything off.
And it allows the guys to get so far upfield, right? Like you said, they get out of their lanes. They're so far upfield that it just takes one cut, and there's nobody really there for the second level of protection. And Eduardo Fernandez, the safety valve, the kicker, was there to end up forcing him out of bounds. And boy, I mean, that's something you don't want to see.
So Stony Point will start from their own 44-yard line with 3:20 to go in the ball game. Hippos leading by 20, close to offsides against the Hippos. Handoff going nowhere. In fact, losing 2 yards.
Yeah, and that play was blown up from the beginning by Diego Hippolito, number 99. Looks like we're getting some
Ball
guys in to
carrier
get
was-
some playing time, and Diego did a great job of staying low and just creating havoc, which is, like we talked about earlier, exactly what you want those big guys up in the middle to do.
Donovan Zuniga in as the running back for Stony Point, so they're probably kind of doing the same thing. Seem to be kind of running this one out. Zuniga goes left, and he is just met by David Okoa, and Okoa just drives him to the ground back at the 41-yard line.
Yeah,
So loss of another yard.
If you're putting on a clinic on how to tackle, I think that goes in the highlight reel. That's textbook.
So 3rd down and 13, 2:20 to go in the ball game. Hippos leading 29-9, and again Stony Point just at this point kind of playing this one out.
You were due for a good play on words. You haven't had one yet
that
today.
one wasn't great. Hausenfluck keeps it. Tackled for a loss. Spencer Shope brings him down, and the Tigers will have to punt. Well, this has been just a great day for the Hippo defense.
Yeah, I mean, just dominating, and their 9 points have come off of, obviously we talked about in the first quarter the 9-yard drive, and then the field goal came off of when they were put in a bad spot and have a 30-yard starting position.
Nice punt by Tigers.
I think
So
we
the
might go
Hippos
ahead and take a
will,
knee and
maybe
minute and a
hand
half.
off. I mean, might not take a knee, but maybe just hand off. Got to give a shout out to my mother, another one of our loyal listeners every week, most weeks. But she was a little late tuning in for this one. She didn't join us until the second half.
Well, it's early. It was a noon start.
That's what she said. She said, when you're retired and you can sleep as late as you want, she said she's never up at noon. Well, she got to hear the good parts, I guess.
Yep.
Which is a
No,
win.
it was all good parts today.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of negatives.
No, other than those penalties.
Yep, and playing a game like this against a team like this, you kind of expected it coming in, but you just never know. And obviously, going into halftime, it was not like this was a blowout, and still on the scoreboard, it's not something that we've absolutely run away with. But for those that have watched the game, it really does feel like it's been a dominating performance.
Total, absolute domination by the Hippos, and again, take away some of those critical penalties, and Tigers might have a shutout, or the Hippo defense might have a shutout.
Right.
It looks like now they're going to take a knee after that one handoff, down to 45 seconds left in the game. Snap back to Hammond, takes that knee. Well, can't say enough, and it's going to be interesting to talk at the coaches' show Monday night with Brad just about the performance of this freshman quarterback, Will Hammond, who obviously had never even taken a snap in a varsity football game, and he put on quite a show today. Very poised, in the pocket. Like you said, oftentimes going through his progressions and finding his third or fourth receiver, and just guys made catches, and it's just sometimes that happens too. Kids that they come in, they don't have a lot of time to think about it. And
no time to be nervous and
just
now,
come out and perform.
I mean, shoot, next week it's like if he has to go again, he's got all the confidence in the world that you got to think, and the team now knows that, hey, we're gonna be fine, no matter who's playing quarterback for us, and I think that's huge. So, great job there by Will Hammond of really orchestrating the offense. Looks like he's been doing this. It doesn't look like he's been out there with those freshmen. The game didn't seem to be too fast for him. Wasn't too big of a stage, and I mean he also got a lot of help from his receivers. There were some guys were making catches that we haven't seen all this year, and didn't seem to be I was talking to one of the coaches before the game, and we've seen a lot of miscommunication from quarterback to receiver this year, and I think a lot of that comes from the complexity of the offense, and I'm sure with a freshman quarterback there was not a lot of option routes. It was very black and white. This guy's going to run this guy's going to run that, and that probably helped out communication-wise. There wasn't
You know,
people weren't seeing different things.
And I'm gonna make a little bit of a stretch here, but you know, sometimes you see balls differently in the daytime too than you do at night under the lights, and you know, who knows? Maybe just a beautiful day like this, bright sunny sky, and maybe those guys just saw the ball a little differently. But whatever it is, and I think it all, you know, you go back to the very first possession of the ball game. I mean, very first play as a varsity quarterback, as a freshman, he completes a pass, and his very second play, he completes another pass for a touchdown, long pass, and that just had to do worlds of confidence, not only for him but for his receivers as well.
Yeah.
And you just kind of throughout the game, you just saw, you know, that confidence. And I mean, obviously the receivers had confidence in Hammond, but confidence in themselves. And it seems like that's one of those things that maybe that has been lacking a little bit. You know, you have some drops early in games, guys start getting down. We talked a little bit about it last game, talked a little bit about it at the coaches show Monday, and you said you even had a talk with a couple of players during the week at school about their body language. And, you know, when things go bad, that you got to keep your head up and keep playing. And today they did that. And, of course, they had a lot of good.
Right.
You know, there wasn't
not
a lot
to
of
hang
reasons
your
to
head
have,
about.
to have bad body
when
language.
you score on the second play of the game and lead the entire game. But no, I think there was a big change this week, and you could feel it throughout the week and pregame. There was more of a confidence from these players and a upbeat attitude than we've seen. And I wonder if maybe some of these guys have kind of turned the corner and are starting to see the writing on the wall. At least you hope.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you have a negative in this game, you got to go back to the penalties. And obviously, you know, the penalties, and while there might not have been a lot of penalties, the ones that they did have were at very, very bad times, and certainly cost them, probably cost them some points. So they'll clean that up this week, and they'll get ready for next Friday, and next Friday will be our Freedom game. Normally the Freedom game is done on the first game of the year. We pushed it back this year. In fact, it's going to coincide with the same day that we do our annual Veterans Day celebration. So it'll be a nice night next Friday night, Freedom game against Vista Ridge, and a very important game. And this one moved to 2-1 in district play. So, you know, at this point, that loss to Round Rock, while you hate it, and especially you hate the way it looked on the scoreboard, it was a much closer game. I think the Hippos are showing, you know, they are going to be able to play 6A big boy football. They're going to be able to compete in this district, and certainly they are one of the teams that's going to be fighting for a playoff spot. But, you know, the next up is Vista Ridge next Friday night, and you really need to take care of that one on Freedom game.
Absolutely, yeah. The next 2 or 3 games are going to be absolutely huge, and I mean, at this point, every game is a huge game with so many teams that are competing for what seems like so few playoff spots, and it seems like so much parity. It's you got to come with your A game every week and be ready to go.
Well, Hippos brought their A game today. They come away with a 29-9 win. They moved to 3-2 on the season, 2-1 in District 25 6A. Join us Monday night for the Coaches Show at Rio Grande Restaurant in Hutto. We do that at 6 o'clock on the patio, and we have a great time with Coach LaPlante and special guests. We give away prizes, and we want you to come out and join us because I know we actually get a lot of folks that watch the Coaches Show, but it's a whole lot more fun when you're there and doing it in person. And we're going to have a lot to talk about Monday night. We'll talk to Coach LaPlante about certainly the freshman Will Hammond and the job that he did, and having J.J. Banks back, and just kind of overall good feeling that you come away with from this ball game with the Hippos winning 29-9. If you can't join us for the Coaches Show,